Doing a little tour of our Lagoon 400 S2. It's a 2015. Ours is a 4-cabin, 2-head model. We like that layout. We didn't like the showers in the 4-head versions. They have like a wet head where the shower's just kind of over the toilet. Alright, I'm going to show you the salon right now. We got our table down. We use our table outside in our cockpit, so the table in here is so big that we just found it easier to take it down. It's just too big and it's hard to get around the seating, so we use this kind of like a living room.
We've got our school books over here. We've got snacks and stuff. We keep just things we don't use too much back there. We have an Instapot. There's a bread maker back there. Some paper towels. I have like sugar and flour and noodles shoved back there.
We had a propane cooktop and a propane oven, and we decided to do away with everything propane other than our grill. I'm so glad we did, because we hear on the WhatsApp groups that we're in, Facebook groups all the time, people looking for where to get their propane tanks filled, and certain fittings they'll only fill this type fitting, or they won't fill this type fitting at certain places, and certain places have butane instead of propane. But we got a little 2-burner induction cooktop here. We got a microwave here that's also an oven. It's a convection oven, a microwave, and an air fryer broiler combo. So it's been great. We love that. That's been one of our best purchases for this boat.
We've got triple sinks. Like, these are our dirty sinks, and the kids usually alternate between washing dishes, and this is the drying rack. So we just kind of shove everything in there.
That's one thing I would change if I had time to do it, is take these 2 sinks out and just have one big sink, because we don't use it like probably meant to use it, with dipping the dishes in to not use as much water. But this was a refrigerator when we bought the boat, and it was a very small refrigerator, really the main refrigerator though, so I added a full-size refrigerator, so it gave me a space to put a washing machine here. It's just a little small, they call them portable washing machines, but I mean it's worked out really well for us.
Yeah, it's great.
So we have it, I've got it plumbed and wired to where we can pull it out, load it up, start it, close it, push it back in. Works really well. This is our 120 volt fridge and freezer. It's pretty much full size for a boat. We love it. It gives us a lot of room to store stuff for long passages, and it's worked out really well. It's just a lot of space. And then the freezers are great too. I mean, we got it packed pretty full right now. I got some family coming into town, but got 2 big freezer drawers.
But this was empty space. It was just useless 2 cabinets that were like 2 pullouts for like cans or something. It was
some Lagoon 400s have a freezer right here. Others have it's like a pantry almost, but it's like just a bunch of racks that pull out, and it's just kind of a useless space for us. So it worked out great that we found this to fit right here.
And he moved this to the side so we could access it.
There's good storage underneath here. This is where we keep like all of our canned goods and other provisions, but a lot of good storage. There's an air conditioner on our boat right here. This is the air conditioner for the salon. We got stuff packed around it so you can't really see it. We don't run our air much, hardly ever, but we got it in case we do need it. More storage under here. Got our grocery bags and more cans and
There's storage in there
provisions.
too.
Footstool's got more storage as well. Here's our breakers that came on the boat. I mean, just basic stuff. I don't really like the location of it. I've seen some people have kind of like a protector right here where they can still use this space and not worry about hitting these buttons. But
because the kids hit them quite often.
Yeah, so they'll turn off the AC power sometime, but we usually know it pretty quick when they do. I added a breaker panel under here for some more 120 volt stuff. I got the water maker on that, and also the cooktops on that. I'm planning to add more stuff, so I just left some extra space to add more. We got our Victron controls here so we can see our battery and inverter state, solar. Got our VHF radio, got a FM radio and Bluetooth player as well, AC control.
We store like our medical kit right there just in case anything happens. Luckily nothing's happened yet. And then just books and important papers up there.
And back here we kind of got a charging station. We got a bunch of Ryobi 18 volt tools. We got chargers for that. We also have just iPads, the kids switches. We got our Starlink Wi-Fi router, our data hub router back here. We put this TV, it's kind of small, but it works.
I think it's like the perfect size though.
Yeah,
I mean,
got
it's small,
it.
but
This arm is great. I mean, we can put it like that when we're underway and it don't move at all. Got our coffee maker, we stay here. Got a DVD player back here for all the movies for the kids while underway. This is a NVR for our camera system. We got a security camera on the back. We can look at our boat if we have Wi-Fi service on land or have cell service on land. We can look, make sure the boat's okay, make sure nobody's breaking in. It has detection and it can alert me when people's kind of at our boat as well. When we got our boat, it had a 12 volt DC fan here and another small 12 volt DC fan over here. We ended up getting one of these. It's a 120 volt oscillating fan. It works great. I mean, it does use a little more power and it runs off our inverter, but it gets a lot of air moving in here. Highly recommend that. If you got an inverter, that'll run it. Keep our trash can under here. Just kind of cleaning supplies and other things under here. Got silverware and dishes and pots and pans in these drawers. Coffee cups, coffee filters over here. We got some more storage up here. More cabinets up here for storage.
Stuff like that.
When we first put this fridge in, I was trying to find something to keep the fridge closed. I found these on Amazon. They're like child locks, so it worked really well. You just put 2 fingers right here and mash down, and then it opens. But it will not open. Underway. Also got these for these freezer drawers. We don't ever leave them on. These we only put on when we're going underway, but you just kind of push them in like that. They won't let the freezer drawer open. Kind of weird how you open them up, but there's a little magnet that you push in right here and pull out. So.
Alright, and then we go down here. This is Jack and Jess's side. We've got a few steps. Got our map on the wall. And then we got Jack's room.
Awesome room, and we got the mattress cleaned. This is my room, and we got the mattress, and we got the bed made.
Why is your room so clean?
Because Grandma and Grandpa are coming.
So you got some Legos stored back there?
Yes.
And you got some cool artwork on the wall?
Yes, I guess. And there's chess and other games and cameras.
Got some games there. Yeah, looks good, kiddo. What's this? What's this in the hallway?
It's a map.
Did you mark all those places?
Yes.
That's everywhere you've been?
Yes. We got Tahiti as well.
Got this bathroom here. That's what we liked about this one. It being 4 bedroom, 2 bath. It's not a wet head, and what I mean by wet head is the shower is literally over the toilet, and like you lay something down and you take a shower over the toilet. It's nice. It's very roomy. And right across from the bathroom is our emergency hatch and some books. And I keep my Swiffer. I put these in, or Daniel put those in, and it works to contain some cleaning supplies. And then we have our Jess's room. Yeah, we got a bunch of books.
Putting material up on top of my closet.
Yeah, you got some more sewing stuff over here.
And my sewing box.
Got some chargers over there.
Yes.
And some games. Who's gonna stay in here with you?
Ma.
Yeah, Ma comes and stays in your room, doesn't she? Got a closet there. But yeah, this is their side. And Jack.
Okay, on the port side is our cabin and John and Juju's cabin. I'm going to show you our cabin right now. This is our cabin. Good cubby holes over here to store some stuff. There's a drawer right here. Down here you have breakers for various things, windlass and winch, and then just breakers for like the main power. Also a closet over here. Got some more storage up here. Got 2 fans. There was only 1 fan, I think, when we bought the boat, but I added another one just so we could each have a fan. The original inverter was in the wall right here. I didn't have room to put our bigger inverter there, so I put it under our bed. Swapped the batteries out, so we got the batteries here and then the inverter there.
Over on this side, we also have a bathroom, and it's the same as the starboard side. Shower, sink, toilet. It's enough room for us. We like it. And then the forward port cabin. And we've got it all cleaned up because this is where my father-in-law usually sleeps. But this is John and Juju's room. They normally have toys everywhere. Their closet space. That clothes kind of shoved everywhere. Yeah, the water maker is under their bed. There's the controls for it. Pretty standard like the other rooms. And then we have some books right there.
That's the original controls for the electrical and for the generator, to start the generators right here. But
there's our emergency hatch on this side, right across from the bathroom, pretty much identical to the other side.
now we're gonna go outside and give you a little tour of the outside of the boat. Right here's our cockpit area. Nice seating for the whole family and a couple of more. We got our generator is underneath here. So, I mean, it's a pretty good location for it. It's got good sound proofing and on the casing of the generator, and it's really not that loud when it's running. So I like the location. It's pretty easy to work on. I can remove this table, get to it, change the oil, and work on it pretty easily. Got storage over here. I just keep random stuff under there, mainly engine stuff and floats. Previously a propane locker. We use it to store our wetsuits. We don't use propane anymore other than our grill. So I removed all these screws and removed the hose for the vent. And we can pull this out, and there's a bunch of storage underneath here that we just kind of got some random stuff in bags and kind of shoved down in there. So good kind of hidden storage underneath there if you don't need propane. This was another propane locker over here. I mostly keep fishing supplies in here, but I did the same thing. Took the screws out, mainly just to get access. We don't really store anything under there, but it gives you good access to the steering cables and kind of back in behind the refrigerator, going down to where the inverter and everything and batteries are all stored in that bottom cabin. Got a small fridge right here. We just keep drinks and mainly marine caulk in. We got good access to the ham right here. A pretty big chart plotter. We got a Zeus 3S 12-inch chart plotter, and we got 2 Triton displays. I'd like to upgrade these to Triton 2s, but maybe one day. And we got our autopilot control right here. Got our VHF wireless handheld right here. It's got a little charging cradle. We got 3 winches up here. These 2 are manual. This one's electric. Works out good. I mean, we really only use the electric for raising the main and a few other little jobs. Most of the time we can utilize these for everything else. So good to have 1 electric winch though. We got 3 reefs on this boat, and all the reef lines run back to the helm, but on the 3rd reef we do have to go up to the mast to connect at the front. But the 1st and 2nd reef we can reef from the helm. Down here we got our Yanmar controls. We got 2 45 horse Yanmar engines on this boat. I love the Yanmars, they've been great. Here's the switches for the electric winch down here. This is an engine compartment. A bunch of stuff stored on top of these boards, but anyway, our engines are down below these wooden boards. We got autopilot right here. L&S autopilot has been great.
Knock on wood. Not wood.
Pretty good room down in there. I mean, it's kind of tight when you have to get down in there to change oil, but it's still a good bit of room. Yeah, we'll take you over here to the starboard side and show you the starboard engine compartment. Same setup. So this is the starboard engine compartment. So there's a shot down in the actual engine room, but yeah, I can get down in there and drain the oil out, change the oil, do my checks and everything, and works out real well. Pretty much the same thing on the other side. We normally don't have this many diesel cans. We purchased all these for our Pacific crossing, and while you're in the Pacific, there's a lot of times that it's kind of hard to get diesel fuel, so we felt like we'd need a lot of diesel cans because our tanks are only 53 gallons a piece, so we got a total of 106 gallons without any jerry cans at all. But we found this is the best place. We don't like storing them up on the front of the boat, so we kind of just store them right here, and we got a little narrower walkway. But I built this back here to where we could store some back here, and we used to just have pretty much these and a couple more for gas. And I got the propane for our grill back here. These aren't the original davits that came with the boat. We had them modified in Grenada and had them built out of thicker metal, and we had them raised 13 inches. Anybody that buys a Lagoon 400, I think it's great to raise your dinghy davits because they're too low. Depending on how low you can hook your lines to your dinghy, I mean, you really can't get it high enough for when waves come and it slams the back and just really puts a lot of stress on the davits. So with the 13-inch height that we raised it, we hadn't had any issues. That was a great mod that we did. Then this is just the solar arch that I installed back in Florida before we left. But we got four 390 watt panels back here on this solar arch. Mounted some rod holders underneath, hold rods and gaff and whatnot. We got this small winch back here. It's a manual winch to raise the dinghy. I wish it was electric. That would help out a lot, but it's not too bad. We got a hot and cold shower back here on the port aft. All right, now we'll go up front. I did add these blocks for our downwind sail, this one, and another one on the other side, as well as a winch. There's actually a bed in here, and crew can sleep up here, but we use it for storage. I got tons of stuff, tools mainly packed into here. There's really a lot of storage down in here because there's like a subfloor, and then down underneath there is kind of like a bilge area, but it's all just a watertight locker. I changed these seats. They were a wood seat, but they were rotten and about to fall apart, so ended up cutting those out of starboard and putting those on in Florida. Also added these pad eyes for our downwind sail. This is a 1500 watt windlass. I think the original comes with a 1000 watt. This one had been upgraded to a 1500 watt. Got 10 millimeter chain. We got a Rockna 33 anchor that we bought before we left. Love it. It's a little oversized for this boat. It's really for like a 45 to 48 foot boat. So it's good to have an oversized anchor. Makes us sleep a lot better at night. Here's the anchor locker. You do have to shut these windows to open it. We got a lot of fenders, a hose pipe, some chairs in there, but a lot of good storage over here. Over here is where the chain store. We've got 425 foot of chain. They anchor in some deeper water in the Pacific, so we wanted to have enough. Here's the other side right here. We got our downwind sail in here and our lines for it. Also threw some toys from the kids because we got a family coming into town. We're trying to make a little more room. Just good storage space right there. We got these Magma racks for our stand-up paddle boards and our wing full board. Works out real good. We do have to kind of move some stuff around when we fly our downwind sail. We got more Magma racks on the other side. We got 4 stand-up paddle boards, so right now we don't have it too inflated. We changed our sail to a square top main sail. We got those from Raleigh Tasker. We've been happy with it. We also got a Raleigh Tasker Genoa and we've been happy with it as well. We did get an Oxley Levante parasailer that we fly from time to time, and we've loved it as well. So that's our downwind sails, our Oxley Levante, and then our white sails. Like I say, we got the Raleigh Tasker, and it's worked out good for us. This is the other solar that I put on the roof. Had a few panels on here when we got the boat, but upgraded to larger panels and put a few more. So we got almost 2,400 watts of solar total between what's on our cockpit roof and the solar arch on the back. We got our Starlink mounted back here. It does throw a little bit of shade on the solar panel, but I like it kind of back there out of the way where we don't have to worry about reefing lines getting hung on it or anything like that. So Starlink's been great though. Best thing ever for sailors. We don't have to worry about getting SIM cards whenever we go to land, and just use that. Even while we're at sea, we pay $2 per gig, but it's still worth it just to have that as a safety precaution, you know, if we need to get in touch with somebody. So this antenna is for our AIS, which I'm not a big fan of. I got a splitter that my parents are bringing when they come to visit us in a few days, that I'm going to connect it to where our AIS works off the same antenna as our VHF, so it's on top of the mast. That way we get AIS signal from boats that are a lot further. Like right now, we don't get a signal until we're like 2 miles or less, maybe like a mile or less from the boat, from this short antenna. So I'm hoping that splitter will really help once we get it connected to the top of the mast. Also installed this block over here for our downwind sail and this winch. Some boats, I guess they ordered it that way, comes with this winch for a downwind sail, but ours didn't, so I had to install that after the fact. And our boat also didn't have a bowsprit. I had not yet. I may add one later, but I could add these blocks and the winch and to fly the parasailer that we have now to fly downwind. So if we want to add some other type of spinnaker or something later on, we might add a bowsprit, but right now we're happy with what we got. We bought this fish cooler in Florida. It's worked out really well. We got a little rubber pad that we keep underneath it, and we got a strap as well that we strap it in case we're in really rough seas. But this is really good for throwing a fish in just until we get to a place where we can fillet it. A lot of times we fillet it when we're underway if it's going to be a long time before we get there. But if we're just on a day sail and we catch it, and it's only going to be like a couple hours before we get to our destination, we'll throw it in there, and when we get there we can fillet it, cut it up, freeze it, and we're good to go. We bought this grill in Florida. It's a Magma, just an infrared grill. It's been great. I got a 10-pound fiberglass tank that I bought as well to supply it. This is our beat up dinghy. It looks rough, but it's been really good for us. This came with the boat, and we talked about getting a different one before we left Florida, but we ended up just sticking with this one, and we changed the motor out. It had a small, like 5-horse Tohatsu motor on it, but we put this Honda 20-horse motor on it, and the dinghy's worked out really well. I mean, the handles have ripped off, but we've put it through a lot, and it stays inflated. It's been really great. It's a pretty cheap dinghy. It's PVC, West Marine dinghy. Yeah, for the price, I mean, I think you can buy these when they're on sale for like $2,000 or less. Which, if you look at dinghies, they're way overpriced for what they are. But yeah, we'd definitely buy another West Marine. I mean, for what it's cost, it's definitely been good for us.
And keep in mind, we drug it for all through the free.
Yeah, our davit broke in St. Thomas, and we drug it all the way down to Grenada. Yeah, a lot of people have an issue with PVC dinghies getting sticky when they're in the sun a lot, and we hadn't had that issue with ours. Like I say, we've lost, the handles have all pulled off, or most of them. I've glued a few of them back, but we hadn't had a lot of issue with that. We did have the handle break right here.
But that was because we were rigging it so crazy.
Yeah.
We had the
Whenever the dinghy davits were low, we used to try to tie off lines to wherever we could to try to keep it stable. And it ended up just breaking everything. But now that we have the higher davits, I mean, we usually tie a line off over here. We might tie a line off over here to the back, and it works out really good. We changed out this motor on the dinghy before we left, changed it to a Honda 20 horse motor. It's been good as far as pushing our family, and we can go very fast, you know, with our family in the boat, but we have had issues with the carburetor. This carburetor is very finicky. If I had it to do over again, I may would buy like a Tohatsu. I would definitely get something that's 4-stroke. I like the 4 strokes. You don't have to worry about mixing oil, and they just run better and quieter, and they just more fuel efficient. But I would definitely try to get something fuel injected just so you don't have to deal with a carburetor, because I worried about dealing with something fuel injected because I worried about not being able to get parts. But I think a fuel injected would be more reliable, just because you get bad dirty fuel and clogs up your carburetor, or water in the fuel and messes up your carburetor, and it's just hard to get parts, especially for a Honda. I did see more Tohatsus in the islands and the Caribbean than any other motor. I would also recommend an electric tilt and trim and electric start. I mean, usually if it's got electric start, it's going to have electric tilt, or if it's got electric tilt and trim, it's going to have electric start, because you got a battery. You might as well utilize that battery to start it. The tilt and trim comes in super handy when you're like dodging bommies, coming in to beat your dinghy, coming in through reefs. I mean, you can trim it up if you're running real shallow over reefs. So a lot of people don't have electric tilt and trim on dinghies, but man, I would highly recommend it because it's been great all the time. And I also put a bilge pump in our dinghy. Best thing ever. I see people pumping, scooping water out with a cup. Some people have the pumps, they pump water out. We don't ever worry about it. You can beach the dinghy. If waves crash in on your dinghy while you're eating at a restaurant or not there, it pumps it out. It may have some sand in there, but
rain too.
I mean, I didn't do anything fancy. I got this hose. I got a bilge pump in there. I ran this hose out the back, and it pumps out. I leave the plug in while we're underway. Everybody says take your plug out while you're underway, but I used to do that before I had a bilge pump. But what happens if say your line breaks for your dinghy, or your davit breaks, then you're trying to secure a dinghy that's full of water and you can't pump the water out. The water's steadily flowing in. So if you got a plug, you got a bilge pump in there. I mean, if it drops in the water, it's fine. You just got to get it secured. I've got a Lorex camera right here that I added. I think I've talked about the NVR in there that we have. One thing we really love about this boat, we got this door right here that it slides and it'll stay open in this position. We can lock it in, so when we're underway, we'll leave this door. Now this window slides and it locks in as well right here. So if we want to, we can close this door off and still have airflow and leave this window open, which we do a lot, because at night we don't allow the kids outside this door. So we'll close this door off, but leave this window open to where we can hear what's going on in here, and we get airflow as well. So yeah, these doors work really well.
Thank you for watching.